Hey everybody, welcome to the Dimeback Retrocast, which we're calling it. I am Tyler. I'm joined today by Megan Bard.
Hello.
And Peter Bard.
What's up?
And Kevin Meacham.
Good evening.
And today we are watching Megan's pick. Megan, tell us what game we're watching.
Well, what we're not watching is the Arizona game
Right.
from 2000, which we tried to watch and fucked up.
Failed, yeah.
But instead, I have decided to select from the 1993-94 season a home game against Syracuse. Two ranked teams, two top 20 opponents. We got some freshman Duron Shepard, freshman Ray Allen, got a little Danielle Marshall, got a little Donnie Marshall. We got a lot going on here. It's good stuff.
All right, let's hit play and see what happens. On your mark, get set, go.
Welcome once again.
Well, I already love it. Oh, hell yeah, we got the maroon and yellow Civic Center logo.
Yeah.
What is this music? I don't recognize this music.
It rules, whatever it is.
It's no classic ESPN college basketball theme.
The set is extremely classic ESPN.
At home, so Syracuse has to handle the basketball. Syracuse not a big team, got off to a slow start Saturday.
If you had asked me, I would have told you Clark Kellogg was still playing college basketball in 1994.
He looks like he's in college.
He could.
He looks like he graduated 20 minutes before this.
They like pulled the intern in.
I feel like the knots on the ties haven't held up, but the ties hold up.
Clark Kellogg would have been 32.
Holy shit, I want that jacket. Sorry. 32?
Yep. Born in 1961.
Jesus.
Honestly, those warm-ups are kind of dope. Those Keys warm-ups.
Brad Nessler, the Ness.
Welcome to the Hartford Civic Center. UConn, one of the surprises, not only in the
The hair holds up.
Starter era.
For doing the play-by-play for years of NCAA football by EA Sports.
That's
I
right.
believe that is the starter logo on the...
Yes, it sure is.
Yeah.
So these are going to be the starter era unis. Very excited about that.
Vital has more.
That
Oh,
like
boy.
mid-90s starter jacket, UConn starter jacket, like that's
Wait,
my holy
Dick's
grail.
talking about Sheffer.
The rock and his presence on the floor shooting the three, he's knocking them down at a rate of 47%. And his presence has really helped the emergence of Danielle Marshall to become a real PT peer, a flat-out superstar, the best player in the Big East. He blocks shots, he rebounds,
Nasty.
he scores. He's
so
averaging
fucking
25
good.
points a game and almost 10 rebounds a game. On the
Christian's
other side,
father, Dick.
Syracuse needs a big performance tonight out of
That's right.
John Wallace.
Exactly.
The big fella on the interior.
Remember John
The
Wallace?
thing with Daniel Marshall is I feel very strongly that if he played today, he would be like the best stretch four in the game. He was so ahead of his time, he should have been a modern-day stretch four.
He had the same problem. Because they were big guys who could shoot a little bit, and then somebody was like, let's play them at small forward.
Husky Fever is going bananas.
Fucking love that logo. You love that script logo.
Dude,
Big Monday.
sounds like the beginning of a John Carpenter movie.
I am loving these 90s graphics. They're fucking amazing. Look at that font, that basketball font. Ridiculous.
I like how it's got like the neon, the teal around the ball.
I was gonna say, was teal like the #1 color of the mid-90s?
Oh, extremely. That's why everyone wore the Hornet starter jacket.
After Hot Pink ended its run in like 1992, that sort of teal slipped in when everybody was wearing Glenn Rice jerseys and Charlotte Hornets starter jackets.
Yeah. Those Hornet starter jackets were fly as hell, though.
Scotty McCorkle?
This is gonna be,
That's not a real
gonna be
name.
a real
Hayward
remember some
started.
guys.
Wow, look
Look
at
at
that.
Kevin Ollie, who also looks 35 in that picture.
It's important to
Kevin
remember
Ollie has
that.
always been a 35-year-old man.
It's important to remember that
it's
Ray
that
Allen did
John
not
Waters
start on this
mustache
team.
He's always been sporting. Makes him look of a certain era.
Yeah. I feel like Tyler tries to talk and none of us can hear him.
I was remarking that Ray Allen is not starting.
He didn't start as a freshman.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Sheffer started instead.
Look at Jim's hair.
I can't even comprehend Jim Calhoun only being at UConn for 8 years. Like because I was 7 years old and in New Jersey when this game aired. So like my conception of Jim Calhoun is as old Jim Calhoun.
These were like the teams that Peter and I followed religiously as like middle schoolers.
When I first learned how to follow sports in like a real way,
these were the teams.
Yeah. From like
We were lucky to have
94.
parents who indoctrinated us early and fed us a steady diet of UConn basketball from a very young age.
Yeah, like 94 to like
this
99
team was
is
not ranked in preseason.
What were you saying, Tyler?
like 94 to 99 is like the seminal time for me. I remember it before then, but that is like my first like vivid memories.
They were dominating the league at that point. I mean, you figure they won the regular season title in 94, 95, 96, 98, and 99. Is that right?
Like they were not. It was not infrequent for them to be the #1 team in the country.
Who's going to win the tip? Yale's going to win the tip, right?
I love these uniforms. With that logo, the navy and white, Connecticut on the front. These are probably my absolute, like, all-time favorite uniforms.
Look at this shit-ass zone. Donnie, come on.
Donnie, come on, clean it up.
Imagine being Jim Boeheim and you can watch a game from 1994 and you haven't learned a goddamn thing since then.
Hill. That rattles out. The rebound off to Eric Hayward.
Hayward, a big, strong inside player, has got great legs.
Travel, what?
What?
The move was too European.
Play by committee in the post position. Scheffer is an interesting player to stabilize.
Look at this full court.
The Israeli Iceman. There's that pressure.
Yeah.
Israeli Iceman.
That's right.
Sometimes they
I still to this day don't really understand why Scheffer was allowed to play.
What a pass.
Jesus. They were so quick up the floor. This was such a fun team to watch. They were incredible. Like this defense, the full court press, in your face, turnovers, and then scoring before you even knew it was happening.
Pressure really bothering Syracuse early.
Yeah.
Get out.
I love when things bother Syracuse early.
This team averaged 85 points a game.
How many possessions a game?
I don't know.
Because this was still when they had the long shot clock, right?
Yeah, this is 35.
No. Wasn't this before they went to... when did they go to 35?
No, I think it's 35, isn't it? We'll see it 4 times in this game when the shot clock is on the screen.
This is the first year of 35, 93, 94.
So was it was 45 the year before?
It was, yeah, from the start till 92, 93.
I have no memory of the 45-second shot clock.
Well, that's because the shot clock was never a thing. Like this, they were always just trying to score baskets. Nobody, I didn't watch Princeton play in the 90s. They probably sucked.
If you want a really depressing exercise, go look at how many points UConn scored per game in the 45-second shot clock era versus what they scored per game in the Ollie era. Guess which one's higher.
Hard trap on Moulton. They really feel Connecticut in their scouting report and their evaluation.
I love Donnie Marshall.
I love how they do the Donnie versus Danielle Marshall uniform.
The Don's Marshall.
Yeah, it's it's kind of idiosyncratic. It doesn't actually
DL
really make
and
sense.
DY or something.
It's D. One of them is DO, but like they're both DO, so that doesn't help.
Whoa. That's a nice pass.
But it's stolen back.
By Eric Hayward, known for his quick hands. Donnie.
Donnie's like 0 for 6.
Sucked butts in this game.
I have no idea who Eric Hayward is.
He's the big moose. He and Travis Knight came in together and split time at center for years until Knight got really good. So this was like their first 2 years. Hayward started a lot because they didn't have a good center, and Knight was useless until his junior year.
Scheffer is such a phenomenal passer in transition. Like that full court pass, like hit him on the money in transition. I would like Jalen Gaffney to study this in this offseason.
Do you think he's watching? Jalen, are you watching?
Jalen, the cat, as we like to call him.
God damn, Danielle.
You could. Please channel around Scheffer.
Oh,
this year.
did he just swat John Wallace?
He did.
It's funny because my memory of like this era is both Hayward and Knight being bad, kind of like you said, Pierre. But I also feel like they rarely played Danielle at the center, which feels so obvious in 2020.
Well, I feel like whenever Allen played, you would see that Donnie, Danielle, Ray, Sheffer, Ali lineup from time to time.
In any normal world, that would be the 30-minute-a-game lineup, though.
Yeah.
Nowadays. God damn, this defense.
As I look at this,
Wallace threw it away. Danielle Marshall finally has a hold of it and drew a foul en route to the hoop.
like those guys were the first 5 guys by minutes. By a considerable amount. Hayward is 180 minutes behind Allen on the season.
This is still like enough of the like Big East era that you still needed a bruiser down low sometimes, but UConn did run a much more fast-paced offense than those like 80s Big East teams where it was just like dudes slamming into each other in the post.
You also had freshman Kirk King on the bench,
That's
plus
right.
Boo Willingham, who never played.
Shout, Boo.
Starring with Team USA, where they had all the great ones: Eric Montross, Jason Kidd, Travis Best. He really was the star player there for PJ Carlos.
Is it weird that I instinctively
love
get quiet
how
during a
Vic
video
will just
free
talk
throw?
about anything.
As a fighter, Jimmy Calhoun.
Sorry, what did you just say?
I said I instinctively get quiet when someone's shooting a free throw, even when it's in a video of a 20-year-old game.
Broken as all as Boston, all of America.
Are you sure you can't make your volume louder? You're very quiet.
I just
Sound
turned
like
up the
a jazz
gain.
DJ.
I turned up the gain.
Like, hey, listeners, hey, cool cats.
You can adjust everyone's volume, by the way.
Yeah, turn me
Yeah,
up,
I have
baby.
his maxed out. I can still barely hear him.
As a walk-in violation, they are really out of rhythm against that 2-2-1 press.
Syracuse
It's an enormous
bad.
press. Most players would rather
Oh,
have
Lawrence
full court
Moten?
pressure, man
That
to
team
man,
had some good players
or
on
even
it.
the diamond trap coming at you hard.
Was this
That
one of the
drifting
Syracuse teams that was banned from the
2-2-1,
tournament?
which really takes you out of sync.
No, that was
No.
earlier. That was like
No
90.
points, and we're 3 minutes in. Syracuse.
This team lost in the third round to Missouri.
And UConn
Who's number
not that
31?
much better. In fact, they're only
Is that Brian
I
Fair?
really like
in the field, and this time
the Connecticut branding. I really enjoy that. Like, I like UConn too, don't get me wrong, but I really like the Connecticut.
I like when they go by Connecticut.
You and Randy Etzel.
Shoot it. That's got to be Brian Fair. If he's shooting it, it's Brian Fair.
offense fair, who
Yeah.
protected
Oh, 31 is Brian Fair, yes.
and Wallace with the rebound.
Wallace got a lot of potential. He's a southpaw. Inside.
Imagine Brian Fair coming off the bench before Ray Allen.
And Autry loses the handle.
Syracuse
Yeah.
is not moving the ball at all. It's just too much dribble, not getting any kind of motion.
Fair
offensively.
averaged only
People are
7.1 points a
standing
game
around
that year, though he
watching.
shot
Very
53% from 2 and
shots.
41% from
They're on
3.
about a 35 turnover pace.
Is this sophomore or junior year, Brian Fair?
This was his junior year, because he was the same class as the Marshalls. He and Ali and Danielle and Donnie and Boo all came in
Oh,
together.
look at that. Look at that. That's like the perfect response to that zone, that movement. Like,
Yeah, having a 4 who could shoot was really good
passing out of
against
the
the
key,
zone.
top of the key pass, then flaring out to the top like that. Oh, just gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Syracuse bench to get it cleaned up.
There's a look at the two.
What would I do to have Danielle Marshall on this team next year?
Two guys, and then they have two across this
God,
lane
could you
here.
imagine?
And that's what they're
Yeah.
trying to do, invite
Sure.
him down the sideline.
He's kind of old now.
Violation. I used to hate when I coached to face teams that used the 2-2-1. I would
Me too.
rather have them come at me full court and trap all over the floor.
Still better than Sid.
Well, Sid's working with Sal. I don't know.
Last night, this
Working?
was rocking with the Billy
Wait,
Joel
he's
concert.
working with
I had a
Sal?
chance to come over here.
Yeah, Sal tweeted something this morning that
Is he
Licata
coming
posted.
back? Is he going to come back next year?
But it said something like in season, so I feel like it was like old footage.
Hi, Ray.
Could be.
Last night.
Because I assume they're not hanging out in the weight room right now.
Probably not. But if they have no transfer decision until June,
UConn bench because he has blood on his jersey from the cut on
that might
Buckle's elbow. So that's the reason
complicate
we held
things.
up as
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to screw us over at getting somebody replace a cook.
Super six man who gives him instant
Oh,
offense.
I don't know.
Spray's in now.
Well,
If
we're
you
more than 20
don't
minutes
know
into
what's
the
going
game.
on with
UConn
Sid,
With a 6-0 lead,
Do you
Syracuse still looking for its
use
first
Gilbert's open spot to get a guard or a big man?
It certainly feels like they want a guard.
Yeah, I want a guard. I want another guard, obviously. I feel like you have to assume one of Richie Springs, JBF, Andre Jackson is going to be able to like take up some front court minutes, wing minutes, and give me more guards.
Marshall with the good anticipation steps right in the passing lane.
Fair and Allen, two high-scoring players off the bench for UConn in the lineup right now for the Huskies.
Fair can shoot the open jump shot. His shot selection's been a lot better this year, Brad. Allen, explosive driver. He visited Kentucky.
Every time Brian Fair catches the ball and doesn't shoot, I'm surprised. God damn.
Great.
Squares his body, gets the good open look, good ball movement.
I don't think we ever passed to anyone on that point in the court against the zone defense after, what, 1998?
Yeah.
He was on fire.
Wallace finally breaks the string for Syracuse. It almost took him 5
Look at
minutes.
that pass.
They get it out quickly after a
Sheffer
score.
was nuts.
Whoa. Jackson with a
Oh.
Autry brings it the other way. Adrian, a little
Way
bit
to
out
dribble,
of
no
control.
dribble.
He's the guy that's
Luscious Jackson.
control the pace for Syracuse, and he's thrown it away
UConn's
a couple
defense
of
is
times.
so crazy.
Wait, there's a guy in the Cuse roster, Charlie Lockwood.
Moulton involved a little
Is
bit
he?
offensively.
That's got to be the same guy.
On the stick back.
He was also a lacrosse player.
Freshman.
Oh yeah?
Around the
He was an
basket.
All-American,
Inside.
four-time All-American midfielder. He was the guy who wore number 22 in between Gary Gate and Casey Powell.
With their own Sheffer. I
Which
love
for the
way
people
he
who
passes
don't
the
know what
basketball. He's
lacrosse
always
means,
thinking as
those
the
were the
ball
best
moves
two
through
guys.
hands. He's always looking for the open man.
And that's like the number. 22 is the 23 of lacrosse, or the 10 for my soccer fans,
Hi, Alex.
but especially at Syracuse. They are very into lacrosse.
I thought 44 was their number.
That's for football,
Just football? I thought that was everyone.
not for lacrosse. Lacrosse, it's 22.
Job understanding his role this year. Penetrate, create, get the ball to open shooters.
Look at that haircut. That is with the line. Slick. Slick KO.
There's
Oh,
Travis.
God.
There he is. Look at
He
that.
just looked awkward.
He looks like he just got out of military school.
I was going to say that haircut is very boot camp.
Lost the starting job. They're trapping now. They're going hard in the corners out of the zone. They play that
It's so jarring not to have the score and clock on the.
I know.
I know, isn't it weird?
jam on a post. And a 2-3 look.
UConn in zone.
Imagine having graphics.
Good look at the basket.
I've lost all ability to know roughly what the score is. Like if it was 15-6, like I'd have no idea.
What do you think the score is?
But it's 9-4. They showed it before.
Well, enough shooting less than 30% from three-point range.
I do remember it was like, and I'm having flashbacks because I just did it, but it was like, if you missed it for like 1 second, you're like, oh, I gotta wait for 5 minutes now before I know what the score is again.
It was like when you listen to the game on the radio.
Yeah, even when you
I
listen
can't
to it
believe
now.
this Cuse team only went 23-7. I feel like that's a ton of talent.
Kept it alive.
This was not a bad Big East year, was it?
Knight, the seventh
No.
sophomore in there.
Let's take a look here.
No, I don't
Big
think it was.
East in 94
There were some rough teams.
sent
rough years
6
in the Big
teams,
East, but
6 teams to the tournament. Miami was awful, went 0 in the league.
Wow.
St. John's went 5-13 in the league, 12-17 overall. Pittsburgh was 7-11, 13-14 overall. Everybody else was mostly okay.
I
Bang.
really love that Civic Center logo. It's so good.
There you go, Ray.
Because it was 6 teams made it out of 10. There were 10 teams in the league that year.
pretty good.
And we went 16-2.
I really wish we played pressure defense like this still.
God, I know, right? I mean, we
gotta
kind
have-
of do. We got to get
Gotta have
there.
athletes like this.
Yeah, and depth.
You just don't see rosters like this anymore.
Yeah.
Like for both of these teams.
Alive, as you said, Brad.
7 on the shot clock. Jackson rattles off a 3.
Nobody back. Nobody back.
Oh my God.
Donnie Marshall jammed that, hit himself in the other hand, and the ball came back out and hit him in the head.
I took that off my own stupid head.
Shooting 64% for the year. They kick it out.
That's a new one.
There's the catch.
Look at that.
Up it goes.
He knocked it back
Donnie.
with his hand.
Don,
What
come
are you
on.
doing?
He goaltended his own shot there.
You absolute numbskull.
Look at Jimmy Behan coaching on Jackson, talking a little bit about getting back defensively. See, defensive balance is
That was
so important
hilarious.
against Connecticut, the way they release and the way they get out in transition.
Look at these motherfuckers.
Oh, is that Jim Burr? God damn.
What do we do, guys?
Oh,
Jim Burr with a full head of hair.
Wow.
3 zebras and 3 good ones. I'll
Wow.
tell you right now, you got 3 quality guys on this game. Clockerty's worked in the Final Four. Jimmy Barr, the ball goes in. It goes in.
Ball
out.
What was he even trying to do?
That's the first time I have ever seen that.
Even Dick's never seen it.
Never seen that.
I can't wait to see the call. We're about
I'm lost on that. Not the first time
Yeah,
I've
what do
seen
you
that.
do if you're the ref? You go like, it went through technically.
basket good by Donnie Marshall.
All right.
That's the first time I've seen that happen.
Donnie had sat on his hand, and so that way when he goaltended his own shot,
Look at this.
it felt like someone else did it.
Bounces it out with his left hand. John Saunders, what's going on?
That is a good joke that 14 people will get. That'll be funny for me.
As it is, it's a chance for a three-point play because it's a foul call on Lucius.
Oh, and he gets a free throw.
Well, he got fouled.
He
so
fouled
that
himself
was
before the
Oh,
shot.
love it. This
He was
is
always getting a
delightful.
free throw.
So good. Leads the Big East at, was it 64%? Good Lord.
Well, all he did was dunk in transition.
They're going to stay
Yeah.
with it because Syracuse has not had an answer to it yet. Got to have good spacing against that pressure.
Like, imagine being able to, like, run out a different one of these guys every 5 minutes
Got to get into that hole. See, two guys
to run your pressure defense.
One guy in that area defensively can play both. See that? Look at the guys jamming up with each other on the post area.
Down to 7 again.
It appears the zone works a little better when you have a guy with like a hyper athletic 4 with a 9-foot wingspan down there.
Percentile area from three-point range.
Hit it.
Daniel Marshall.
Yeah.
A little bit of a skip before the move. As UConn has been relatively error-free, and they have a 7-point
When did
lead with
UConn
11
stop
minutes,
being
44
that team
seconds
that
to go
made
first
just
half?
like outrageous outlet passes
Recruiting by UConn. Look at
and
the
got
lineup
the
of
ball
players
under the
of
free throw
Brian
line after
Fair,
like
former
5
player of the year
seconds?
from Arizona. Daniel Marshall.
Is that like 04?
Pennsylvania's
This
player
is
of the
definitely the
year.
peak, but they were still doing it in 04.
Yeah,
Jacksonville, Florida player of the year.
I
when he
feel
was
like
in high
after
school.
Parad
Sandy
left is when
Utah
it,
is where Travis
maybe
Scott
after,
was
yeah, I
player
guess
of the
after
year at State.
04.
And
I
Ray
mean, the
Allen
game
out of
did
Belgrade,
change in
South
that
Carolina.
time. Teams
And
stopped
Kirk
running like that
King out of
because
Baton
you ended
Rouge.
up
All
hurting
players
yourself
of
on
the
defense
year.
so much.
That's how he
And now
did it.
nobody
Outstanding
plays that
assistant
way.
Look at Howie. Get it, Howie. Ah, Dave.
Howie.
Dave Lato.
Get
Oh,
Carl
love the
next to him.
glasses.
The Big East
Got the pocket square.
He looks like he should have been in a music video in the 90s.
I'm sorry, can we pause to get the sensation?
It was bootleg scoreboard with one score from every sport.
People say the butcher.
Who is Dick Vitale just calling
Graphic
the
design is my
butcher?
passion.
Otis Hill working on the inside. Real tough kid. He played
Oh my
for
God, a
95 cents per
900
minute for
number.
scores.
learning what the game of basketball is all about as he's dedicating himself to basketball. His cousin had a
They must have
big
made
game
millions on it.
You call in and
Like
Chris Berman
idiots.
just tells you what he's wearing.
Boston College, 98.
Hey, I gotta call in and get the scores. People who owe money to bookies these days.
Remember
Oh god,
Otis Hill?
degenerate gamblers are all over that.
6'7". As Nick said, if he gives you the impression of having a body of a tight end, he was a heck of a tight end in high school. He's got 3 points.
He's been doing a solid job on the inside. He's got a nice little touch. Certainly not a star player. They lose Conrad McRae, who's now playing in Turkey.
I hate to say it, but those Syracuse jerseys they're good.
Tyler was literally going to say that exact phrase.
Yeah, they're good.
that logo.
I
is
didn't
dope.
used to hate them. I really only started hating them. Like, we had a rivalry when I was in college, and like I knew everybody in the Syracuse band, and they knew us, and we would antagonize each other. But when they got the ACC invite, that's when I started hating them.
I hated John
That's when
Wallace.
they were dead to us.
I'll tell you, Jimmy Boeheim's going to have to solve attacking that 2-2-1, or it's going to be a long night. They're going to warm up that.
There was a lot of hateable Big East guys who were really good in this era, like John Wallace and Bill Curley at Boston College.
Danya Abrams,
Yeah, I hated Kerry Kittles.
Iverson, Victor Page.
One of his dad watched him play for the very first time against Pittsburgh. 13 points, 6 rebounds. McCorkle off the bench.
I mean, half the guys on this Q's team: Otis Hill,
Yeah.
Lawrence Moten,
Autry and Moten so far early.
Have they ever? Autry working over Sheffer.
Adrian Autry.
Rebound.
We love remembering some guys.
I hated all of those guys.
To UConn.
Who was the guy on BC?
Not
Who
Curly?
played pro for a while at that time. No, it was a guard.
Troy
Howard
Bell.
Isley.
Oh, New York Knicks, great.
To an assist. In other words, field goals made through
Pretty sure he was on that 99 Knicks team. Though.
He was on
Fucked around in them.
some of those 90s teams and was bad.
Sheffer got Moten up.
It was him and the guy.
Shaq, take the open shot.
Strong rebound that time by
Come on.
Rice.
Has Ali attempted a field goal yet in this game?
That was not his job.
Yeah, it's fun.
To drive a lot more. They want him to slash and
The
drive
pre
to
to
the
leak.
goal. I want to make sure people understand what I meant by that. Field goals made through an assist, their percentage is about 60%, and that is outstanding for Connecticut.
Jordan Bruner listed 6 schools, and UConn is not among them.
Who did?
That's too bad.
Jordan Bruner.
Ah, bummer.
Selfish. That's what that stat tells me.
Now, is that like a here are the schools where I might pick, or is he just like, these are the schools that are recruiting me?
No, down to 6.
Bears going to check back in.
Well,
And Ollie will sit down. Autry goes out
I kind of thought that when he said something, like, "This is Syracuse close to home."
for the Orangemen.
People were thinking, like,
Got
"Oh,
to find a way to get into the hole of that 2-2-1 and bring the
Well, I don't know where home is, but it's this list is Arkansas and Gonzaga, so
trying to get numbers along the baseline against the one guy that's back.
Bruner's from South Carolina.
He's down by 7. 2-3 zone.
okay. So you got Alabama, Arkansas, Louisville, Maryland, and then the other 2 are Gonzaga and Baylor.
But also, he's from South Carolina and went to Yale, so
Right.
like, he wasn't that concerned about location.
I also think sometimes going close to home is just the excuse that people make to not take too much shit when they say they're leaving.
Now he takes it over Marshall Long. Tipped in by
Marshall Law.
Scrappy player McCorkle out of California. Was teasing all the guys at the airport yesterday. Said, hey, it's 80s. California, Southern Cal.
Fair walk with it. 3rd turnover of the night against UConn. More college basketball coming up. Steve Woodbury.
Steve Woodbury.
Fans rocking
Who the fuck is that?
I couldn't
look
tell
at
you.
that fucking graphic, man."
Then New Mexico State and East.
That is a wild ass national television game.
Yeah, what?
Tennessee State, New Mexico. I know the WAC was always the midnight game. So I get New
I
Mexico.
mean, the
State.
WAC was pretty good. New Mexico State, I feel like, is traditionally a decent program.
2 turnovers, no assists, no points.
Too good a player, though.
They were 23-8 that year, though it seems like they have a lot of vacated games in those years.
It's nice to see Donnie go 2
Field run
hands.
and dunk is my favorite kind of UConn basketball.
Ooh,
They
Wait, no,
had
New
a,
Mexico.
they had a guy named Johnny Selvey on New Mexico State that year.
No relation.
It's the first name is spelled differently, the last name is spelled the same. So they could be related, and that would be hilarious.
what if it's Johnny Selvey's dad?
That's called ripping. I tell you, that's called intimidation.
Donnie's had a good game.
New Mexico State was in the Big West in 93, 94. Wow.
The Big West.
8 points off Syracuse miscues.
So the WAC was still pretty small. I feel like they blew up a couple of years later, and then half
Yeah,
the
it was like
teams
90
left.
It was like 96, yeah. When they went to 16.
Brian Fair took a
And then
3,
everyone hated
FYI.
it.
You know, as pretty as their
And then all the original WAC teams left to start the Mountain West, which was just the MAC from '92.
The WAC from '92.
Yeah.
Really been having a solid year this year. Came on strong last year after the first Pitt game when he had 31 against Pittsburgh. City, Palatine High School.
Still like an hour of this game left.
So we got stuff to talk about.
I'm tired. My quarantine stamina is low.
Not leaving the house is exhausting.
Got a nice little touch. They ran to a little overload against the zone. 4 against 3 on one side of the floor. And Reef Snyder
Do it.
Did a 6-mile walk today.
What
It
was that?
Oh.
my quarantine.
I did a
exercise.
much shorter walk than that. We took the
Yeah, I
dog
also
out.
took a much shorter walk than that.
Nice move by Autry.
See, this is when I started to hate these Syracuse teams because, like,
Leeds cut to 3.
they were good and it was annoying.
One thing Syracuse has done a nice job is
But then I would, like, conversely, when we were all in the NCAA tournament, I always rooted for the other Big East teams. Because the other Big East teams winning was good for me.
Oh, jeez. I never did.
Never?
Never.
Yeah.
It served me well once UConn ended up in a conference like the American where I actively wanted everyone else to fail.
I mean, don't worry. I got there quick.
Yeah, what's going to happen when we get in the Big East? Are you going to go back to rooting for the other teams outside of the conference, or are you going to? Is that bitterness now like part of your soul?
Part of my soul.
It's not part of my soul. I will go back to rooting for, like, when Xavier is playing anyone else other than, like, us or other Big East schools. Like, I will root for Xavier to beat anyone outside the Big East forever.
I might root for him to beat, like, Syracuse, but I very much want Xavier to lose to East Tennessee State.
What about when they play like Cincinnati?
Go Xavier.
How is that even a question?
That's insane to me.
Like, you should, I mean, you root against Cincinnati now, like, with fervor.
Oh, yeah.
See, I will go back to rooting for tournament cheers, personally.
I think my thing will be I just don't want Villanova to win the championship because then they'd be tying us, and we can't have that.
Well, yeah, obviously. That's a given.
Well, we're going to have to put them back in their place as quickly as possible.
Listen, it's going to be fine because we'll just win the national championship next year. It'll be great.
If there is a season, I'm very confident.
Me. I can't take that level of pessimism in my quarantine.
Nice pass.
I need to believe that college basketball will be back next year. by November, that we will be able to be out in the world again. For the love of God.
Autry and Moten, 3 of 9. Sheffer and Marshall with 13 points tonight.
Which Marshall? How are you not going to put that?
That one. That one. Or maybe it's the other one. I don't know. Could be.
They were just saying Donnie was having a good game.
Donnie's got at least 3 on that stupid self goaltend.
And then he had another dunk, so maybe it's Donnie. Who could be sure?
Who can be sure?
And in this era, you really couldn't be because you did not have the internet.
Oh,
Beautiful.
what a fucking god damn, that was nice.
When's the last time you saw that?
Just such beautiful touch.
Take it. It's funny. I feel like the last 5 minutes of this game, you're seeing the other side of UConn's pressure defense. Like they gamble so much.
And then everybody gets tired.
Yeah. Okay.
The fuck was that?
I don't know. That's the
Donnie
Big
as he
East
went
officiating.
through.
I know.
I feel like this was all, they were always like a team of runs, you know, like they'd go up by they'd bang out 12 quick points and then they'd hit a little bit of a lull and the other team would get back in a little bit, but then they'd blow out another 12 points real quick.
Well, it was really, are they making their shots? Because that helps them force turnovers. But if they're not, or if they're not preventing shots and they can't get out in the break, they would struggle, which is why I think he stopped playing like that, because inevitably you would have a game where those things weren't working and you'd lose to Mississippi State despite the fact that you were the best team in the country.
UConn in front, they've led throughout by as many as 10 on one occasion. Ollie, nice look to Knight.
Get in.
Are you
Hey.
serious?
He said to me earlier today, he said, "Can you please say hello to
See, that's the thing with Travis Knight is like he looks like a dude who should not be good at basketball.
Even when he was good, he continued to look like he shouldn't be good.
Right.
He wasn't very good then. Like, that was a nice play, but
Yeah.
He almost went to BYU and Arizona State. Told me
But
Arizona
like,
State was
you don't look at that man and think that move can come out of that body.
he would have been a perfect fit for BYU.
I used to have a haircut like that. That's how my dome looked in high school. Just like that. I swear it did.
Can you imagine how good he was?
He looked like every 1950s player.
See, they want to bring it up that
Yeah, it looks like Art
sideline.
Quimby.
He went on.
It looks exactly like Art Quimby. It's not even, it's wild.
Attack and drive, post to the middle. Someone like Moulton.
Mitch, what were you saying?
Can you imagine if he went on mission for a year and he had a fifth year?
I was just thinking exactly that. Like, him coming back.
Syracuse has made their last 5 shots, though.
Oh. Come on, Travis, on the ground. There you go, buddy.
The shot of Marshall was the first guy getting up the floor.
Possession arrow goes Syracuse favor. Daniel Marshall, a couple of blocks tonight in 45.
Really wishing I brought more snacks in
I
here.
hate this rule. I'm going to tell you why. Get rid of that.
They forgot about the shot clock and
Ah.
off the prayer.
Tough to win when you have those kind of breakdowns.
Too many turnovers. Syracuse
Well, Dick, let me tell you about what's going to happen in this game. Where did Megan go?
Troops are right in this, a half
Probably get snacks.
One of the reasons why they're hanging is the fact that they're not letting Connecticut get into that transition game. The 2-3 does that. It slows you down.
Shoot it, Kevin. Jesus. Come on.
I would love a supercut of Kevin
Hey.
Ollie passing up open shots.
Yeah, you know what? It worked out. Turns out Travis Knight taking a 17-footer is a better option than Kevin Ollie taking a 17-footer.
8-point UConn lead.
Take it. There you go, baby.
Here we go.
Oof. Let's go.
How does Donnie Marshall not have the highest field goal percentage in UConn history?
He started shooting threes around this time. And only okay.
Red, red,
Wow,
red,
there's
red,
some
red,
fun
red.
sweaters.
And the hairstyles.
That woman looked like an ugly Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Had a 10-point lead. Now with 3:58 left in the half. The pressure's still killing Syracuse.
On Sports Reference, this game says it's been played at Gamble.
Look at the spacing. Two guys together. And look at this open area. No one from Syracuse posting up to the
Well,
open
I'm
area.
canceling my Play Index membership.
Yeah, unreliable data, you know?
There's the little flip, the two forwards.
Actually, you can tell them that something's wrong and they'll fix it. They've done it before. Because remember, they used to have a couple of the 96 awards that went to Ray Allen as going to Canby. And I was like, hey, that's wrong. And then they fixed it. Now it's just the
Look at
correct
that
thing.
fucking pass.
Oh, my
Jesus.
God.
Oh,
That's definitely goaltending.
Travis, you big
What are
dummy.
you doing, Travis?
Travis.
Travis
That
should
was
claim that
going
somebody else
in.
pushed it in.
First two passes were insane, though.
Dick, let me ask you
God,
this. Why
Is that Andy Richter on the Syracuse bench? I feel like it can't be, but is it?
Exactly. I would let Wallace try to post up to the open
He's
area.
definitely shooting late night at this point.
Already down to 15 on the shot clock.
Say that again?
Because it takes him so long to get it across midcourt.
Who's
He
shooting
was
late now?
Andy Richter,
In low.
Oh.
Syracuse assistant coach Andy Richter.
Syracuse.
And then
That's gold.
Come
Yeah, that
on.
was also goaltending. That was definitely still on the rim.
Bang.
hooks it out.
Ollie passed us up the open shot.
Three is short. Got his own rebound. And he stepped on the baseline.
Boo.
Drifting and shooting that
Did not like that.
I think he's got to try to go inside a little bit.
They
more.
pushed you out, Danielle. They pushed you out.
The basket. See, right now they're going to post. Moulton's going to come to the ball.
You see the thing that Russ posted about
Away from the top two.
Trump calling A-Rod about the coronavirus?
What?
Well, I feel safer.
Trump phoned former Yankees baseball player Alex Rodriguez this week, seeking help from him
damn
and his
it.
fiancee Jennifer Lopez on the coronavirus response. Multiple sources tell me and Santucci. This is from Catherine Falders.
What?
I don't know.
Well, maybe that means they'll be helping out the Bronx, at least.
A-Rod's going to slap it out of somebody's hand.
We all stand Mr. Rod in here.
I loved A-Rod. He was so delightfully weird.
He's my kind of guy. He's my kind of weirdo.
Was he in, wasn't he, was 94 his first year?
95, I think 96 was the year.
Yeah, 96.
He was a rookie in 95.
Was he? Oh, that's right, because he didn't.
People knew who he was in 96. That's when he blew up.
So in
I
this
think he
game
had
where,
he had
He
50
didn't
homers.
technically qualify for
No,
rookie.
he won the batting title in 96. He only had 36 home runs. He hit 358.
But he
I
didn't
don't have those
qualify for
numbers in
rookie
front
of
of
the
me.
year in 96.
In 90,
Because he played too many games in 95.
He was technically a rookie in 95.
so he's like a high
So
school
that's why Jeter
senior.
won it in 96.
Jeter won it unanimously, in fact.
Right. Because
Another
A-Rod was not eligible for it.
Another injustice. A-Rod was better than Jeter. Is what I'm
Yeah,
saying
but
here.
he wasn't a rookie, so he couldn't win Rookie of the Year.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But had he
He
been,
should have won MVP, and they gave it to Juan Gonzalez instead.
ridiculous. But anyway, he got host. Is what we're saying. Got host.
Brown keeping it close with
You think
Duke.
Brown's gonna win?
This was around when Duke was terrible. Like, wasn't this when?
No,
When did
this year, this was
Krzyzewski
the,
get hurt?
that's 96. Because that's the year they played Eastern Michigan and then would have played us in the second round.
Look at the vertical stripe next to the horizontal stripe.
But 94, they got to the championship game and got beat by Arkansas.
There you go.
In Charlotte, actually, which was funny as hell.
Hit it.
So they were.
Danielle Marshall hooked from the baseline. Fouled by Hill.
95 was the year they were really shitty.
Yeah, that's when he had the back injury, quote
Yeah.
unquote.
And so Krzyzewski went 9-3 that year, and Pete Gaudet, or Gaudet, I don't know how that's pronounced, went 4-15. So we're not gonna saddle Coach K with that 4-15 record.
Is that when he got
Who was
suspended
on
for
that
gambling?
team? Cherokee Parks, Jeff Capel, freshman Trajan Langdon, Kenny Blakeney.
Sellers is playing over in Greece. They got the kid in the NBA, Chris Smith with the Timberwolves. Certainly Scotty Burrell with the Charlotte
Look at that.
Hornets.
Whoa, Joe. Chris Collins. God, I fucking hated Chris Collins.
Wasn't with that team. Robinson wasn't with
Dick
that
Vitale shouting out Chris Smith on the Timberwolves.
There's a guy, I don't understand why he wasn't a better pro. That's definitely goaltending.
Knocked out there by Kirk King, but you can give Otis Hill the basket, and he's got 5 points.
Kirk, come on, man. Learn the rules.
32-27.
We haven't seen Rudy Johnson yet, have we?
To go first half.
He might have been hurt. He was hurt a lot.
Somewhere I probably still have it. I have a signed picture of Rudy Johnson that my mom got at Bob's Discount Furniture one day. No, wait, Bob's
should-
Stores, the clothing stores.
You should use it to, you should lord it over Russ's dad, who, as we know, is a huge Rudy Johnson fan.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you kidding? We've talked about this several times.
Couldn't tell you.
I can't tell if you're making fun of me or not.
No, I don't remember that.
Rudy Johnson missed 11 games that season.
What you call Boeheim the Lou Holtz of college basketball the other day?
Yeah, you know, he's always
Sandbagging a little bit.
Can't talk.
We have no players. Mentioned Lou Holtz, his son Skip Holtz is going to be coaching football here. And I'll tell you one thing, it's a great choice.
Boo Skip Holtz,
But
coward.
I'll tell you, he's like his dad. He can motivate.
12 turnovers.
Still probably the best coach we've ever had.
Yes.
And just
I wish he'd stayed.
sloppy. There's no rhythm to anything they're doing offensively because of that pain in the neck, I used to call it, 2-2
And yet they're still only 5 points down. I think that's the amazing part about it.
There's Boo. Give it to him.
I often wonder what would have happened if they'd held on to Skip.
attacking the 2-3 zone.
Where did he go after us?
He was the assistant coach at South Carolina when his dad was there.
Yeah.
Because I think they were sort of like, if you do it, we'll make your son our coach in waiting. Is my guess.
But enough about Corey Etzel, folks.
Man, it's going to be tough when they cancel college football season.
For who?
Oh, it's tough for me. David Benedict's going to be really annoyed. He's like, I put all that work into this stupid schedule.
Yes, sir. Questionable call by John Clarkity. Questionable call.
What do you think they'll do if they cancel the season? Are they just going to push all the games back a year on the schedule?
No, I think they'll just move on.
Yeah, they might just say, fuck it.
Yeah, that would actually probably make the most sense.
But people have been there's contracts that have been signed, and people have received money to play games, or games are returns on other on a home and home.
Yeah, I feel like you just have to be all right, the next season we play the 2020 schedule for.
Oh, yeah, because that's what I was saying. I thought you guys were saying.
No, I agree with you.
Skip it.
I think that the next year we play college football, they should play the next.
And if every game is now the, whatever week, the same week the following year.
Then they got to redo the contracts for 2021 and 2022.
That's what I'm saying. Every game that's scheduled is now shifted back a year, and then you're done. You don't have to do anything else.
Does the money for buy games change hands when the contract is signed or when the game is played, though?
I don't know.
I would assume it's the latter.
But there are going to be other situations where a team is already they signed a home and home team. One team went one place, one team went the other, but they don't end up doing the return game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't pay it out until you play because teams get bought out sometimes.
Yeah.
Right. That's a pretty cool half.
Up 7 at half.
We love it. We love to see it. Look at that beautiful logo.
We should watch a 1996 game because I feel like Daron Sheffer kicks ass in this game. Imagine how much ass he kicks if you watch him 2 years from now.
Yeah, we should. We should do in a Dove year. We should do in a Dove game.
Oh.
Just remember, the earlier you go, the shittier these games are.
Exactly.
I would nominate the Gamble opener if we're gonna do a 90 game.
Ah,
Oh yeah, I love that one.
That's a great one.
I don't think I've
I've
ever
watched
seen
that
it.
one many times.
That's a fun game. We should definitely do that one.
And for the same era, we can watch the game where someone hits a buzzer beater on Big Monday to beat Seton Hall, and it wins the Gulf War.
Oh, okay, cool. That's great. It's great to hear.
There's the turnover to 10th ranked Connecticut, moment with the good anticipation.
Oh,
That
What the hell was that?
double dribble and a half.
way to dribble.
Like he just forgot how to play basketball for a
Take a
second.
look at the first half statistically. As I mentioned, 39% for UConn. And the turnovers, add one more quickly to the Syracuse list.
Like, you look at this and you're like, how are we up by 7?
Yeah, that's a lot of points off
I
turnovers,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Kevin.
Connecticut's a much better three-point shooting team than shown.
Yeah, I don't
Like
know
Kevin
about
does a
this.
little up fake and everyone's
Are
just
you
like,
kidding me?
whatever.
Can't believe that worked.
Play inside, good post move. When you make those kind of plays on the interior,
Hayward was such a strange player. It's like you didn't have 6'7" centers in the mid-90s. But he was just so huge.
He was a big boy. Oh, Danielle is so
That's
good.
ridiculous.
Look at that.
Oh, what a
Oh,
pass.
no!
Good idea. Jim's like, let me at him.
And here comes that 2-2-1 press. They retreat.
God, if that had been a good pass, that would have been an unbelievable play.
Might have been over the cylinder there. Nice pass. God damn. I miss having good passing teams.
It's a lot of fun to watch.
Trying to remember the last really good passing team.
Oh, man.
Man.
2014 was good. You had Baz and Boat on that team. Not this good, but they were good.
I feel like this year's
But the
team was
problem
the
is,
best
like-
passing team I've seen since 14.
I was gonna say this year's team might be
Yeah,
one of the best ones we've had in a long time.
yeah. I agree. Vital's a great passer.
Daphne did
Turns
some
out he can really
crazy
pass.
things.
Yeah.
By the end of the year, even Whaley and
Book Knight's
Carlton
a
were
very
pretty good.
passer, and Alteric Gilbert was
Yeah.
also there.
Wichita State's Alteric Gilbert.
Someone on a website pointed out that it doesn't really make any sense for him to go there because he's going to be playing all of the same players who, like,
Who just
he's already
shut him
struggled
down.
against.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackson's a streaky shooter. 3-point attempt won't go. Danielle Marshall a rebound, 4-on-2 for UConn.
Oh,
God damn.
What a
Jesus.
perfect fast break.
He was such an unbelievable player that year.
Good God.
go off, Dick. Go off.
Just in terms of being a 4 who could handle like a fast break, is it him and Daniel Hamilton? Like, is that the list?
And Hamilton wasn't really a 4.
Right.
Like, he could fake it a little bit.
He kind of had to play the 4 because of our.
But if that, I mean,
personnel.
he came in as a 2.
Yeah, it turned out
Which
he
was
had
his
to be a
fault.
4 because he was the only guy on the team who could rebound. Villanueva could fake it, but not like Danielle.
He's made some open threes this year. Marsh has made 7 of them from three-point range, the big fella.
Villanueva didn't really run the court that well either.
Nah.
Syracuse first road game. That's incredible. January 10th.
Of course, this is their first road game.
It's like Hamilton, Danielle, and Eric Cobb.
Right now is the Big East tournament, so you can basically say it's a midway point
Who?
of the season. It's their first road trip.
Well, he's like,
I know. I know.
Are we talking UConn or?
I don't know who that is.
for them is the luxury of the Carrier Dome. They don't want to leave that Carrier Dome with the big payday.
I've been told those games didn't happen.
Up there.
Tune in to the
Alright.
next Retrocast.
So many games within your confines
A
of
game against UCF from 2018.
We can watch the Syracuse game where Cobb hit the 3 and UConn won like 49-46.
a little bit more active offensively, learns how to move without the ball.
The
flashes
most classic Tire Pro classic of all time.
big time.
They collapse on Donnie Marshall and Ali.
There you go, Kevin. Yeah.
Hey,
God.
Yeah, get to
His
your
first
spot, Kevin.
basket.
that might be his first shot.
I was going to say, I don't remember him taking a shot before that. And even that one, he wasn't thrilled about doing it.
Lawrence doesn't get it. Corkle pulls it off the backside. Tough shot with the left hand. Got it again.
Ooh. Man, just swallow those whistles, baby. I love it.
He's hanging in there.
This was the Big East.
Yeah.
You had to do better than that if you wanted a foul.
That deuce. He had a big game on Saturday when his dad came to town. He went to see Mrs. Doubtfire, Robin
McCorkle.
Williams and company. It said that gave him a great spark.
That's just a classic Syracuse punchable white guy.
Maybe on the next Retrocast we should watch Mrs. Doubtfire.
I do love that movie.
Is that Cincinnati Reds pitcher Homer Bailey?
Wow, Zion Williamson,
Yeah, wow.
1994.
That was Corliss.
Corliss Williamson. Yeah, I remember. This is the first year that I like followed like I still have somewhere like a New York Post bracket from that year. So
Just want to be clear that I know you know that wasn't Zion.
Okay, thank you.
I just didn't know if everybody knew that was Corliss Williamson, who was like kind of famous and played with the Globetrotters for a little bit.
Did Arkansas win this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was the Arkansas championship.
I remember he was a good NBA player. He was a
He's a
spectacular
great college player, yeah.
Scotty Thurman, that's the other
Oh
man.
God, yeah.
Indiana really has overachieved this year. Not a very athletic team.
They got to 2 championship games in a row, didn't they?
Was the other? Did they also make it in '95?
Yeah, they lost to UCLA.
Well, then yes.
Who won in '93?
UNC.
UNC. That's the
I said it
Chris
first.
Webber.
I said it first.
That's the Chris Webber timeout game.
Oh, yeah.
Knowledge.
Gorgeous. Turns out having really good players makes it pretty easy to beat the zone.
Yeah.
We should try that again.
Yeah, I think
That
that's a good
Michigan
idea.
team should have won that game. They were the better team.
Who was on that 93 UNC team? Was that
Is that
Eric
Antoine
Moncrief?
Jamison?
Was that Phil
was that
Ford?
later?
That's
Jamison
right,
was-
Jameson. Yeah.
Look at Danielle.
Look
Give it back
at
to him.
this.
God,
Oh my God.
fucking damn it.
God,
Jameson would not have been on the team.
that is
93.
gorgeous.
Was he later?
Holy shit.
Red,
Oh
red,
my
red, red.
God.
Did Big Red,
Red,
exist at
red.
this?
Oh God, yeah.
Big Red.
Let's listen for it. Nope.
What the hell?
Now this year. Secondly, I think the comments he had playing for Team USA when he was the leading scorer.
Oh my God.
He's kind of gone to that a little bit, I think, internally. I think third, I think his work habits and practice. He's a wonderful kid and kind of a laid-back kid, but I think his work ethic and practice as being the leader of the team as only a junior, I think has really helped him. a
So
great deal.
good.
He's been able to turn it up a
Ridiculously
notch when
good.
he had to.
The leader of the team as only a junior.
He's not the only one around the country. They just can do everything, and the kid's
So quaint.
He's multi-dimensional. There's that 1-3-1 zone.
Eric Montrose was on that 93 UNC team.
Yeah.
No Jameson.
And,
Shit
George
pass.
George Lynch was on that team. Yes, George Lynch.
Syracuse is shook. They're shook.
Danielle Marshall chasing Chris Smith, the all-time leading scorer,
Damn.
finished with over
Who was obviously not as good as.
He's on pace to pass that.
But that's the thing. It's like neither of those guys, and those were the two best guys on that team. Neither one of them was a particularly good pro. Like they were both fine.
Sheffer trying to feed the paint.
Oh.
Too much traffic there. Yeah, he forced that action. Sheffer made a bad play right there.
That's about the only one tonight he's forced.
But that Michigan team was insane.
Like you forget Jaron Sheffer's technically a freshman because like he's really
He's
not a
32
Yeah, well, he was
years
like
old.
23.
Ridiculous.
Corral, they had Allen and Sheffer, and they were a different basketball team. Scotty had a lot of
I don't know why we don't recruit
Daron Sheffer
freshmen.
was like Kevin Costner and Bull Durham in this season. Like
I don't
he
know
would
why we
smoke
don't just-
cigarettes on the back of the team bus and be like, "Let me tell you how it is in the show." But he'd say that in Hebrew.
Travis, what you doing, baby?
That'll be 3 fouls on Travis Knight.
I think a lot about the time I saw
Do they
Travis Knight
speak
at the
Hebrew in Israel?
charity game and he was wearing
What do they
gigantic
speak in
pants.
Israel? English, right? Is this a ridiculous question?
his family. I spoke at a banquet down in South Carolina.
What were you saying, Tyler?
Great family.
It is Hebrew.
I'm saying Travis Knight looks ridiculous now, and I can't look at him in this game without thinking of it every time.
It's
God.
terrifying. Travis Knight is very strange looking now.
Gee, well, he has that
Whoa.
All right, that was pretty nice.
That was gorgeous.
16 for Lawrence. Wallace started that with the rebound on the other end.
Wallace was a really good player. I always thought he should have been a better pro. He seemed so good at so many different things in college.
You know what happens when you get a guy like Sheffer, Brad? I'll tell you.
You should have listened to Jim Boeheim when he told you he'd be a shitty pro.
Passing the basketball.
I assume.
So contagious. And you become
He played 4 years.
this basketball team. And that's why, as you said earlier, last week they were leading the nation in field goal percentage, shooting 55%.
Danielle sits down. Donnie comes in.
This was a top recruit.
And it's Donnie Marshall on the
Played
inbound.
33 minutes a game as a sophomore. scored 15 on 57% shooting, 9 boards a game, and just played 2 more years of college basketball after that.
Different time. A better time.
The wildest one will always be Timmy D, who put up a double-double with 4 blocks, just about, 9.8, 9.6, in the ACC as a 17-year-old freshman.
Whoa.
And played 3 more years of college basketball for some reason.
And then the foul to boot.
As a sophomore, Tim Duncan scored 17 points, 12.5 rebounds, 4.2 blocks. 59% shooting. Why would you go back to college after that?
The commissioner of this league, Mike Tranghese, he's probably better than all of them. What a great guy.
Wake Forest must have been paying pretty well in the mid-90s.
People grabbed a club, he'd be pretty good too. The way he's played basketball tonight. 52-44. Syracuse keeps hanging around. They're not playing very
Number
well.
1 for subs.
We love Subway.
He's got their last 6 points.
Sponsor us, Subway.
They are a Connecticut. They formed in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
I guess we should mention everyone should eat at J. Timothy's.
Definitely do that. Go to J. Timothy's, not Subway.
Get some wings, guys.
Subway hasn't been good since like 2007.
It's true.
I miss
J.
Jared,
Timothy's
too.
is always good. Not bad. Not bad, KO.
He's heating up.
He's talking, getting right up in the face of Moulton. I would go to Moulton.
It is funny watching Ray Allen play a basketball game and be like a total non-factor.
You can see that one coming off a little screen, pops out.
21 for Lawrence Moulton. You wouldn't have guessed that, I'm sure, if you're just watching this game as it goes.
Should definitely do a 95-96 game then.
There's that zigzag pass from the post down to the
Oh.
Nice feed in low to Hayward. Finale.
He's fucking whacked. I could hear him get hit.
the way he hustles on the floor.
Big East, baby.
Love the Big East. We'll never watch it, but there's a sequence in the 2009 Pitt game that is like my favorite Big East moment ever. The one at Hartford, where it's like 4 possessions where guys are just throwing people to the ground. Like, it's not even attempting to play basketball. It rules. If we had won that game, it would be the most legendary. Like, I'd watch a GIF of it every day.
Was that the game in the snowstorm?
No, that's the DeJuan Blair, the beat game.
Oh, yeah.
When DeJuan Blair suplexed the beat,
Yes.
and there was no call.
Yes. I think they called a foul on the beat.
You know,
For being
we
suplexed.
got Jake Voskuhl jumping on Elton Brand's head one time, and there was no call. So
Kevin Ollie, 6'3" junior from LA.
Yeah, it all worked out.
We are definitely on our way to that quarantine Twitter about like appreciating how good Jake Voskuhl was. We are so close to being there.
He had 10 assists in the second game against UConn last year, which is a career high for him.
So don't talk about how he could pass out of the high post all day.
55-49, 6-point lead, midway point of the second half from the Hartford Civic
It's a nice
Center.
move.
And Wallace
Yeah.
is
John Wall's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
4-point ball game.
Yeah, pretty good.
Donnie.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, come on.
Missed the reverse layup.
Ollie had game.
Rebound. Syracuse getting a little bit more active now, attacking the glass.
Man, there are so many fouls.
Wow.
and then we call a charge.
Adrian Autry is not having a good game.
Like, if this game is being played right now, everyone would have already fouled out.
They got bailed out in that game by McCorkle off the bench. I think he's fighting himself. He's getting down on himself too much.
Yep.
Guys, can you see I'm wearing my cool new Big East t-shirt?
Nice.
I gotta get mine.
I'm very excited about it. My retro Big East t-shirt.
I've only worn like 2 shirts in the last 3 weeks, so I'm not sure I'll wear it that much, but
It's very soft. It's
I
very
have been
soft.
showering and changing my clothes almost every day. I did not today.
Yes, I switch my underwear and leggings at pretty much every day.
It's going to be a tough adjustment back to normal life at some point.
Leaving your house life.
I'm going to have to buy a second pair of pants.
Oh,
Like, I wore the same UConn sweatshirt for 4 days in a row because it was like, why does it matter? It doesn't.
Fair. Hayward tried to go for the slam. It'll be Syracuse ball with 8:54 to go. And Moten, after a quick break, will come back in.
There's so many F-bombs. Like, you're just reading people's lips and just everybody's dropping them all over the place.
profanity never goes out of style.
It's an outstanding spurt team, Tyler. I don't know if you heard Dick Vitale right there.
Spurt off, Dick.
Jackson's the guy that really has a lot more ability than what we've seen here tonight. Very streaky player.
No points for Lucius.
They got to get him involved a little bit.
Came in averaging 10 a game, which was double his average of a year ago.
See, Autry can't beat anybody off his dribble move, but they got to help him out with some screens. Can't screen here. You got to go out and lay a screen for him. Help him
Back in Ollie.
Get that, Donnie.
Got his own rebound. Almost got killed in the process.
Got killed in the process.
See, lay a nice screen for him.
I love how good the Civic Center sounds. Like,
Rebound to Ollie.
people are losing it on every play, and that's really how it should be.
Donnie Marshall.
I'm so mad Brian Fair's playing instead of Ray Allen.
UConn won for their last 15 from the floor.
You know, they only shot 40% against BC and they were able to win.
Jim Calhoun is in the Hall of Fame.
Tonight they're not shooting well as either.
One for their last 16.
Is Brian Fair?
That suit is like the most 1990s suit that has ever existed.
University.
A lot of sunshine out there. I'll tell you one thing, Ohio U's got two outstanding kids, Gary Trent and Gino Ford. And they beat them out there, 80-degree weather, the beach, the sun.
The Buccaneers.
Okay. Brad Nessler horny on Maine. Cool.
We're under 8 minutes. It's 55-51. Syracuse can cut it to a bucket if they score. Autry short on that one.
Oh, come on.
I really
Boo.
am saying I like Mr. Wallace.
Sleep at the wheel.
He's got a lot of po to be a star.
This is as close as it's been since it was 2-0 UConn. And with that,
I hope we do one of these and we get a absolute freak out by Jim.
6 to go. The Huskies by 2.
Yeah, I would. I don't have any particular favorite Jim Calhoun freakouts, but there are so many.
Who's got 21 points tonight.
Yeah, I want one where he kicks the scores table and you hear him yelling over the sounds of the ambient microphones.
Which was the game where he got 3 technicals because he got the second tech and they ran him and he was still going hard, and so they gave him a 3rd technical even though he'd already been thrown out of the game.
I feel like that was against Providence. Does that make sense?
That feels right to me, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite Jim Calhoun moments just generally, because I think he's the only person who's ever gotten 3 technicals in a game.
That was a nice move.
They're really denying. Ollie was right up in the face of Moten trying to keep the ball away from Lawrence.
Sheffer. Missed that 3. The rebound, Donnie Marshall.
Where you going, Donnie? Yeah.
Yikes.
Anticipation by Autry.
Runs it up by himself.
That's a great drive. Changes direction.
Whoa. God, look how fast they go the other way.
First time we've been tied since the
So many
Ollie was
possessions.
really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ollie was on the drive.
It's hard to believe the score is tied, isn't it? It's unbelievable. If you watch the way Syracuse
I'm trying to find that game with 3 technicals, and I found the 2010 West Virginia. It's not this game, but the 2010 West Virginia game where Calhoun got a technical 47 seconds after the opening tip.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. That is a good one.
That would be a fun game to rewatch.
Oh, that's awesome.
That one of the brief moments that 2010 team looked good.
There you go.
Knight got it back. Wallace trying to find the handle and finally does.
He's a solid rebounder. Had 11 big ones against Pittsburgh.
Syracuse has.
We should just watch whatever 1996 game features them scoring the most points.
Okay.
It's got to be like Central or something.
Which
Yeah.
game did Ray Allen have the most 3-pointers in?
I wonder if there's a Marathon Oil game up.
Transition, but they can't
And look, they start running again. They start taking control of the game again.
They scored 116 in a 70-point win over Central in January '96.
All right, a few more weeks of
So I told
quarantine
y'all,
and we're
yo.
watching it.
Central was in the Mid-Continent Conference at that time, which I believe is now
Who
the
is in the Mid-Continent Conference? Oh, that's the Horizon now?
Yeah. It's either the Horizon or the Summit.
Isn't the Summit like where Denver is?
Now, yeah.
59-57. See, here's the area where Wallace is going to
Yo, old conferences, like you go back before like 1995 and that shit makes no sense. Like pre-conference USA, it's insane.
It's just a bunch of like 7-team leagues, and you have no idea how any of them are related. Like Eastern
Or they're
Illinois.
all from like the same like 8-mile radius, but the quality is just, you know.
on the baseline with that little turnaround jump shot.
Lawrence with 23.
He's one of the premier baseline players in the nation.
Tied again at 59.
Just got an Instagram notification that 2 years ago today was our pod with Sterling Gibbs.
Oh, that ruled.
We
What
gotta
up,
get
Sterling?
Sterling back on.
Let's get him for a
You
2016
should watch
game.
his best game.
Yeah.
Was that the conference title game against Memphis?
Ooh, that'd be a fun game to watch.
I feel like I remember him hitting a bunch of threes in that game.
I was gonna say we could watch the Cincy game, but we'd have to start at like the first overtime because I'm not spending 4 hours doing this.
By offensive rating, his best game was a 30-point win against Sacred Heart.
I would watch
I'm
that.
in.
In a real game,
Fucking shook. God damn.
yeah, he had a pretty good game against Memphis.
Ah, in the regular season or in the conference tournament?
Regular season at Gamble.
We beat them up that year. Let's
Yeah.
see, we beat them 3 times, right? Mm-hmm. Because you can't beat a good team 3 times.
I could be wrong, but I feel like that's the game. Like, is that the one where Shaq Goodwin took like 25 free throws?
Maybe.
There were
One of
there were
them
a
was,
shitload of free throws.
yeah, one of them was like
At Gamble.
horrific.
Shaq was 11 for 12
Knocked away by Otis.
from the free throw line.
Might be what I'm thinking of.
3 minutes and 37 seconds to go.
You know, as much as we make fun of Memphis, I actually kind of liked playing them.
By
Like, those games were always pretty lit.
by far
we
my
always-
favorite
We
opponent.
always, we always beat them in like 88 to 82.
Yeah, it was the only AC game on the calendar you could depend on to watch offense.
Yeah, I don't know, and it's just like they got, you know, their fans are very like
Brad Nessler and Dick Vitale at the Hartford Civic
like their
Center.
fans all live within 8 square blocks
Number 14 playing number 16
of the school, but they fucking
Wow,
love
look at that
team.
inbound play. Did you see that inbound play?
That was nice.
That was gorgeous. Just having a dude who you can get the ball to like that for an open 3 and just knock it down. That
It
was
was crazy
gorgeous.
how many good shooters were on these teams.
Moulton with a better catch may have put that one up, but he couldn't find the handle.
Like Fair, Allen, and Sheffer, all 3 of those guys were better 3-point shooters than
Oh,
Go, Kevin.
Wow.
Whoa.
anyone we've had.
Wow.
one. Let's go,
Look at
Ray.
that.
And
what
one.
the?
That's-
Oh my God.
Just that face is perfect. Just
That ruled.
shame. Yeah.
That ruled.
Feel bad, Jim.
It feels so good to watch that.
Kevin, that
What a
pass,
nice look.
He like couldn't even see where Ray was until he was already passing the ball. Like he made that pass blind. And then the finish.
Or he started it blind at least. He's
Yeah.
like, well, I'll figure it out on the way.
Oh. This reminds me of how I play like basketball video games where I just keep hitting like the pass button over and over again until I'm right next to the rim.
Are you kidding me? Finish that.
Oh,
Really getting up on a glass in that timeout.
6'4" center Eric Hayward was like, "Fuck it, I'm dunking."
Boston College and now Syracuse, and in all the preseason rankings, those three teams, Georgetown, Syracuse, and BC, were rated the top 3 in the Big East.
Who died that Syracuse has the black armbands or the black bands on their shoulders?
And they're heading for the third.
That last foul was on Wallace. He's got 4.
I'm not going to make a joke
Hayward
about
at the
that
line.
because that's going to be something
Jesus.
bad.
Well, the free throws.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we can't edit these. FYI, we can't edit these.
Down 5.
What did you say, Meech?
Ask Paul Evans about the free throw.
Adolf Hitler.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Wow.
Oh no!
Syracuse alumnus.
Oh no!
This is it right here. Must get a score in this
Oh, man.
Autry will try a 3. Rebound loose. It's Shepard. That's hurt.
We just talk about facts here on
Oh.
the podcast.
That's really offensive, but it's a really funny joke.
Wallace
Ugh.
to Autry. 3 on 3. Autry will pull up another short shot. He missed another one. Moten found a loose ball.
That's 5 blocks for
Fuck
Daniel.
out of here.
Jesus!
He's got great timing. He really has.
What's Daniel Marshall's stat line in this game? Just so, like, is
I don't
there any way
know.
to look this up? Nobody has any idea.
I'm sure it's hidden somewhere in the barrens of the UConnHuskies.com website.
I used to have
You
all
used to just
the.
be able to look them all up.
Yeah.
Now it's like all fucked up and a ton of them are missing.
It makes me very upset, actually.
They
It's
moved all the
infuriating.
links. There used to be a PDF of every box score.
I probably downloaded it at some point.
I have the bookmark saved, and they changed the links, so now the bookmark is useless.
And believe it or not, Syracuse's site has it. So that's cool.
Oh,
Danielle's 20 and 11. 5
oh,
blocks.
come on! Oh, Jesus.
20 and 11 with 5 blocks.
Yep. Ollie has 11 assists in this game.
That's what it sounds about.
I
right?
believe it. Yeah.
God damn.
He didn't take a shot for the first 26 minutes.
What about Chef? What's Chef's line?
Schefter is 6 for 10 shooting, 4 for 6 from 3, 16 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. That's it.
It's a pretty standard game for him, especially that year.
Club up in Massachusetts with Marcus Camby, who's from right here from Hartford. In fact, John Calipari says, "Give me a game. I want to play
Fuck off,
those
Calipari.
guys."
John Wallace had a nice second half.
He's so
He
upset,
fouls
and I
out
like
with
it.
13 points and a minute 33 to go.
I'll tell you one thing, Massachusetts and Connecticut, or Mass and Boston College would be one great game. Great for the fans, the players, the alumni. It'd be exciting. Massachusetts wants a shot against them. I tell you, they're legitimate. They're top 10. Mass, they really are. 2 Hartford kids, Uzi, Mike Williams, and Marcus Camby.
Camby stayed for 3 years?
Yeah.
Danielle Marshall.
God damn.
I
Well, he was
remember-
making a pretty sweet paycheck in college.
That's true.
Again tonight, double-double and 5.
I mean,
block shots.
wasn't Danielle the first UConn player to leave early? And that was 95, 90,
That was
after
this
94,
year,
yeah.
94.
And he was a junior, and like an All-American. He was the first one to forego his senior year, right?
14 NBA
Yeah.
scouts.
I'll also know, I remember my mom was really offended.
I was gonna say, I feel like it was like everyone assumed he was coming back because people came back.
I can't believe it. They came to see Marshall.
And you look at it now, you're like, I can't believe he was still there
Yeah.
to do this, to put up 25 and 9 on the season. And you thought he was coming back after that?
This is the year.
What's that?
That was ridiculous. Oh, how did you even get that ball in?
And 1.
Man.
Oh, wow.
God damn. He just looked like a Hall of Famer right
Yeah.
away.
Wow.
He's like if you built a basketball player out of granite and it came to life. He just moves perfectly, like how like the prototypical just great basketball player. Like that's why he got cast and he got game.
How the fuck
Because he
did
just
Schefter make that
seems
pass?
like the best basketball player in the world.
His body control is ludicrous.
This is the year
He was
Danielle.
so much precision.
This is the year Danielle set the single season scoring record that stood for 17 years.
And his dad, big
Right.
Ray.
Ray was 4 for 14 in this game, and I remember the 4 way more than I do
Oh, it's Kevin.
the 14.
The 10.
Right.
That's the ugliest tie anyone has ever worn.
For what it's worth, Camby didn't have like a mind-boggling season as a sophomore. He only played 22 and change a game. Scored 13.9, 6.2 rebounds, 3.4 blocks.
Oh.
Much better season as a junior. 20.5 points. Still only 8.2 rebounds, though. You would have thought more rebounds for a guy like that. 3.9 blocks.
We should watch the game where they forgot Ray Allen's jersey and he had to wear the other number. Did he wear 45?
Make a three-way tie, I should say, for first place, but right now it's in
I don't remember.
UConn's favor by 5.
Providence really an improved basketball team. I talked to Brian Mahoney a little bit earlier. St. John's.
Brian Mahoney.
George Felton scouting because they play Connecticut Saturday night at the Garden. I was teasing him. I said,
Remember when we got to play a basketball game Saturday night at the Garden?
one of the great players in America.
I do.
We will again.
I can't wait.
There's a lot of hope and praying going on around the college basketball.
There's a random red chant. All right.
With some star players still not
Well, you know, Syracuse
That felt like a band-led chant.
Todd Bergen. Bergen played at
It was artificial.
From out of Detroit, he'll help them tremendously next year. I think Syracuse still feeling the effects of that NCAA investigation. It'll take about 2 years before I think they can get back to where they were with the great run with the Colts.
Well, he actually turned out to be right about that.
Yeah, go figure.
What is he? I wasn't listening to him.
It'll be about 2 years before they're back to where they were with like Coleman, and they were in the championship game 2 years from now.
Yeah, but they weren't the best team in the league
No.
that year. They were like the 4th best team in the Big East that year. They just were the one that got through.
Alex told me the reason he selected Connecticut over Kentucky, he said, I really felt wanted here. I didn't think the Kentucky
That's also the case in 2003.
as Connecticut did.
Another season, we beat them multiple times.
Way to make a layup.
That's it, baby.
No layup.
Call to the bus driver and say, hey, Mr. Bus Driver, turn on the engine.
Oh, sad Syracuse players. You just hate to see it.
Mr. Magoo, motherfucker.
Dig if I tell when your team is winning is so great.
Adrian Autry's had a tough
I'm gonna be so sad when he dies.
Stay at home, Dick. Stay at home.
Oh yeah, Calhoun too, but also Vital.
That.
If it
I
makes you
still
feel
like
better,
him.
Meech, he might
I do
outlive you.
too. I've always liked him.
5 in a row.
Yeah, in '96, we beat Syracuse twice by 9 at home during the regular season. We did not go to Syracuse that year. And then we beat them by 18 in the Big East tournament semifinal.
impressive double-double, points and rebounds, and the 5 block shots to boot.
So, like, you know, how much better was that team really than this current team that we're looking at?
Right.
Autry for 3. They've got to have that one and didn't get it. And Sheffer with a rebound.
All right, this was a fun game.
Luke Jackson out of bounds. Smart.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree every good Syracuse team is a fluky piece of trash.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's right.
They got the bus ready to
Well, you just look at their rankings that year. Like, they were never in the top 10.
They gave a gallant effort, though, in the second half, Syracuse.
I don't think that the 96 team is that much more talented than the team you're looking at in this game.
Charging foul.
This team is really talented.
Like Wallace and Moten, like those are like all-timers for them.
Too many points to
Yeah,
make
he's
up
talking
for
Syracuse.
Though he was a senior, Otis Hill was a junior on that team. Todd Bergen was on that 96 team.
But really, the balance.
Like, I feel like just
Jason
watching this
Cipolla.
game,
I
this
remember him.
everybody's a really good athlete. You know?
The Huskies win.
Daniel Marshall was really good at basketball.
Yeah, let's do this again sometime. I hope everyone enjoyed the first a Dimeback Retrocast.
I don't know why. This one worked perfectly. The other one was a complete. It was your shit started breaking.
Again, everyone, 75-67, the final score here at
All right.
Connecticut. The Connecticut Huskies now move to 4.
Do we watch the last 3 minutes of this just to see what
Yeah,
happens?
let's see what they got to say.
All right, as soon as the video's done, though, I'm stopping
the
record.
dubbing's out of sync.
FYI.
Dom Perno, look at that.
Wait, who the fuck are these announcers? Is this a different game?
This must be. Is this the tail end of a different tape? It has to be.
This must be the next game. Yeah, because they're 13-1. They were 12-1.
Awesome.
This must be the start of whoever they played.
Extraordinary.
People are walking out. This is the end of the game.
It's completely different announcers.
How good is this team?
Yeah, it's not Dickie V and Nessler.
No, this is like for the local broadcast that they would do.
I think Sheffer has made them a top 10.
They would do a local simulcast of
I
the.
don't want to put too much pressure on Jimmy.
I mean,
game.
this might be like for the post-game show or something. I mean, Dom Perno's on the TV. Like, this can't be for anything but, like, regional.
Oh, yeah. Weird. All right, good night, everybody.
Hell.
Oh my god, I love
Hell
this
yeah.
music. Amazing.
Has been a Big East Conference Television Network production.
Awesome. All right, gang.
Fantastic.
Ooh.
Curious.
Post-game interview.
Whenever they needed a big basket, you seemed to really want the ball this year, and you went up and you made some big clutch plays.
Well, I feel this year that I'm more mobile, so whenever they can give me the ball inside or outside, I feel I can do something positive with the ball. And the way our freshmen and younger guys are playing right now, it's tough to cover me one-on-one because they got to worry about everybody else, so I'm able to step up at the end of the game fresher than I was last year.
I'll tell you one thing, you seem to love to play with Daron Sheffer. His passing ability really makes you smile. Look at you smiling.
Yeah, I love playing with him. I mean, he finds me real well on the court.
And then they show an assist from Ollie.
He knows where everybody's at. The preseason, he found out where everybody's on the court real well. We sat down with him. He asked us where we like to be on the court. We told him, and he just finds it very well on the court right now.
Well, I know one thing. He's always looking for you, and he's a good guy to live for. I know you want to go in the locker room, get inside, enjoy the moment, and let me talk to the winning coach here. Go ahead. Thanks a lot, Danielle. All right, here I am. Jim, you talked about your teams. A lot of peaks and valleys, spurts there in that game.
I think, what's happened to us a little
Spurts.
bit. We just dominated so much early in the preseason a little bit, and what's happened now is people, when we've had the runs, 14 up tonight, we just expect people to go away. In the Big East, they don't go away, and I thought, particularly early, I thought we missed more shots.
He almost sounds like he's speaking English here.
And kind of didn't really put them away, kept Syracuse around.
Cocaine English.
14, I thought we were in good shape, and of course they make the big threes, and give Syracuse some credit. They came back like crazy.
No.
I'll tell you one thing. Take a look at
I will
yourself
not.
on the sideline here. Well, after the game, going bananas. I mean, we're watching you operate, but you don't stop on that sideline. You really work it. You feel it. You get excited there, huh?
I don't know who that guy is. That's a positive. That couldn't be me, obviously.
I'll tell you something else.
Adorable.
Your club really does a great job with their half-court traps and their different multiple defenses, and that's a key to your team.
Well, I think, once again, if we could have scored more off our defense, I think you and I talked about that, we could have had a big plus and much more of a cushion. But, hey, we didn't, and we played very well.
Well, Jim, congratulations. Connecticut moving on. Let's go to you, Ben.
Moving on. The season is not over. This January game.
God, he was the best.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for us. Thanks for watching with us. We'll do it again.
Bye.